Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Books You Can Sink Your Teeth Into podcast. I'm your host, Brandon A. Miller. It's very nice to see you all. It's been a while. Apologies for my delinquency in getting these podcasts done, um, but I'll do my best to keep them coming. Remember, I got to read the books first, so sometimes it takes a little while. I've enrolled in a class, a college class, and it's kind of taken up some time for me. So apologies for these delays. This week we are going to read a book, an excellent book. It's called "How Jesus Became God." Now, this book is written by Dr. Bart Ehrman, a really well-known scholar, uh, retired, but he was at I think it was University of North Carolina for many, many years. Wrote a lot of books. We've actually done a few on the podcast here. I really enjoy his writing. You know, he writes as a scholar. He keeps emotion out of it, and it's for me it's really enjoyable because I enjoy studying religion, and so for me these books are really really good. Now, if you're someone who might be sensitive to issues of faith, then I would recommend not reading this book or some of his others. And but if you are interested, like me, if you are more like a, I don't have to say scholar, but if you're really interested in religion and all, then I would definitely, I'm going to recommend his books to you. And we did a couple already on this show. Misquoting Jesus, probably his biggest one. He's got a podcast called that. If you're interested, he's got a podcast. He's got a blog. He's got. They also have like biblical study classes that you can sign up for. So I haven't done that, but more tempting. So let's jump into this book. So what I really, really enjoyed about this is the very, very beginning. Uh, he talks about a person who had a miraculous birth in the time, zero AD or BC or whatever it is, wandering around. He cast out demons. He healed the sick. He was arrested. He was tried by the Romans. He then uh, reappeared to his disciples, and he was worshipped as a divine Son of God in temples. Things were built in his honor. And you, of course, think to yourself, well, this has got to be Jesus. But no, it's not. It's a guy named Apollonius of Tyana, and got to tell you, that's when I first like, whoa, this is going to be interesting. And so, the book, he, Dr. Ehrman first, goes into, you know, what was divinity in the ancient world, and he looks at both Greek as well as Jewish, and how is there a boundary? Is there like with the Greeks, we all know about Hercules and those other sons of God. In fact, there's a Netflix or Disney did a thing with what was his name? He was a son of Poseidon. Well, anyway, there's a TV there's a thing on Netflix now that you can watch, and so but then he contrasts that with what happened, like why did Jesus go from being a prophet to the Son of God, and all he outlines, and one of the major things that he points out is that the resurrection was the catalyst. Now he talks about that, these visionary experiences that people had with this, whether it was a true, but that's really what kind of brought this whole divinity issue started to turn, and we go from what's called a low Christology, where that Jesus was adopted by God for all the good works, everything he did, he was adopted by God, into a high Christology, which we see later, like in the book of John, the Gospel of John, where now, Jesus is on equal terms with actually God himself. And very, very interesting to see this outlined, how that's developed from early to later, and how the writings coincided with that. So It's a fascinating read. If you're interested in biblical studies, understanding the New Testament, the Christian Testament, I would highly recommend this book as well as some of the others. And he's got, like I say, he's got a podcast and everything. So, well, thank you all for joining this week. We'll talk soon.